Hello, I'm Dave Dino, and this is Sponsor Spotlight, and today we're going to give you the Midas touch. We're going to be talking with James Clark, Senior Vice President of the Midas Gold Group, and Ken Russo, Senior Trader at Midas Gold Group. So we've got two guys here that can talk about the issue of precious metals, gold, silver, and others. And they can give you a real behind-the-scenes update and education on the role of precious metals in your portfolio, in your wealth accumulation. This is going to be an invaluable half hour together. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, Dave, thank you for having us.
That's James and that's Ken, respectively. And let's begin right down into the nitty-gritty of this. Is it true that since 2000, gold has actually outperformed stocks? Ken?
That is true. Many people don't realize that. Obviously, we've just gone through a huge stock market cycle from 2010 to 2020. That was preceded by a huge gold cycle from 2000 to 2010. But there's always a place for wealth preservation, and gold seems to be a safe haven that people have gone to time and time again.
I was looking at some statistics about the growth of gold as compared to inflation, going all the way back to 1971. The average annual income has grown by 241%, rounded off. The average cost of a new car, 788% inflation. The cost, this really boggled my mind. The cost of a loaf of bread has increased by 923%. But listen to this. The price of an ounce of gold has increased 2,900%. So gold certainly is outpacing inflation. There is a question always when the stock market does well, when is it going to bust? When will a recession come along? And then the question is, what about my gold? Does gold hold up during a recession?
Well, gold is actually one of the most effective hedges against a recession and against a correction. When traditional investments such as real estate and stocks fall, people tend to flock to more of a safe haven investment like gold. Personally, I remember prior to the last crash of 2008, there wasn't a lot of interest in gold. People were making a lot of money in real estate, a lot of money in stocks. And I personally remember practically begging people to buy a little bit of gold at $400 an ounce, a little bit of silver at less than $10 an ounce.
Wow.
And people that made even a relatively small investment as a hedge or as an insurance policy, they were able to par a lot of the losses that they experienced on their traditional portfolios.
That's James Clark. He is the Senior Vice President of the Midas Gold Group. We're also talking with Ken Russo, Senior Trader. If you would like to talk with one of the folks over at Midas Gold Group, here's a phone number for you to call, 805-601-6000. Again, that's 805-601-6000. To look them up on the internet, just log on to MidasGoldGroup.com, MidasGoldGroup.com. Now, if you go over to the website, you can actually download, and I really like this tool, you can download the Guide to Owning Bullion and Coins, and that's going to really educate you, give you a lot of information. But here's an even better offer. When you call them at 805-601-6000 and you schedule a no-obligation consultation, that's no strings attached, that's no arm twisting. When you schedule that, they will be happy to give you Sebastian Gorka's new book, The War for America's Soul. And I think that ties in really well with what we're talking about today. So call them at 805-601-6000. What percentage of my portfolio should be in gold? Should I just put it all in, like they say in playing poker? Or what do you recommend? What's reasonable?
Well, I would say that an intelligent investor or a well-diversified investor never puts all of their eggs in one basket. But what I think is really important to understand is where we are right now in 2020, where we are as a world financial market, here in the United States and in other places. We almost had a total financial collapse in 2007, 2008, and 2009 due to the subprime mortgage situation. We've had an 11 or a 12-year cycle where we've seen huge gains, but are those gains based on organic growth, or are they based on the printing of money and the expansion of debt? What's important to realize is back in 1999, 2000, we had about $80 trillion in world debt. During the financial crisis of 2008, we had about $120 trillion of world debt. And today, 13 years after the great financial crash, we have $260 trillion of world debt with derivatives of over $2 quadrillion. Eventually, all of this printed money and leverage will cause some sort of financial crash, recession, however it is you want to put it. And we follow some of the biggest money managers in the world that recommend gold. We feel that 25 to 50% of a portfolio right now to preserve wealth. That's the main object of owning gold, is to preserve wealth.
Preserve wealth.
If we make money or a big return in the future, we do believe gold could go up a lot in the future, tremendously, a lot higher than most people could imagine at this point. But we are recommending to people to take gold seriously at this point and kind of overweight it at 25 to 50%.
So gold really provides a very secure hedge against changes in the economy. And changes in the economy can happen on any given day due to any given event, right?
Right. I mean, we can always watch leading indicators, which we do. We look at the World Shipping Index. We look at housing prices in major markets. We look at interest rates. We recently saw an inverted yield curve in the interest rate market. And that tends to be a leading indicator of a recession. But the truth is, when you have a recession, or you have even some kind of chaos, or worse yet, you have an unforeseen global event. We just saw gold spike recently with the tensions with Iran. We saw overnight gold jumped over $1,600, the first time it's done that in 8 years, and that was when Iran responded. The truth is, most people that invest in gold with us look at it first and foremost as an insurance policy, and we do have some people that have a relatively small amount of gold in their portfolio. Maybe on the low end, maybe 5% of their portfolio might be devoted to gold.
That's James Clark. He is a senior vice president at the Midas Gold Group. We're also talking with Ken Russo. He is a senior trader. You can talk to the folks at Midas Gold Group by calling 805-601-6000. 805-601-6000. If you schedule a no-obligation consultation, they will be happy to give you a copy of Sebastian Gorka's newest book, The War for America's Soul. And I got to tell you, it's a really good read, and it goes very well with what we're talking about today. And that is the economy in the world and the world situation. So call them at 805-601-6000. Quick question. How easy is it to transfer money from maybe an IRA or a 401k into physical gold? How easy?
It's simple. It's a sideways transaction where you're taking money out of one market, transferring it into another IRA. It's not a tax event. All of the IRAs that we fund are backed by physical gold bars and coins. Clients receive a monthly or a quarterly statement, and they're free to take the gold out of the IRA through a distribution at any time after 59 and a half without a penalty. So
wow.
Like anything else, it's a question of doing business with people who are familiar with the process. It's a daily thing, and it's a very simple thing to do, especially for those that are looking to do it now with stocks at such lofty levels.
If we have tweaked your interest, give them a call and ask them your questions. If you schedule a no-obligation consultation, they will be happy to send you Sebastian Gorka's new book, The War for America's Soul. And the number to call is 805-601-6000.
And Dave, one thing I would like to add, we do encourage people to come to our office. We're in Thousand Oaks, right off the 101. I find, strangely enough, many people in the gold business never actually meet their dealers face-to-face. And in some cases, they deal with a commission salesperson over the phone. We don't have commission salespeople at Midas Gold Group. You have a very competent trading department. You have people that have worked in these markets for decades in gold and silver. I personally grew up in the market. My dad was in the business. We are, in many cases, second generation within the company, and we do want to meet our clients, and we believe that it's advantageous to clients looking to be in the gold market to come in, sit down face to face with their dealer. If they have an IRA and they have questions about it, bring it to us, and we'll sit down with you and help you develop a strategy.
Ken?
We've heard too many stories, Dave, about clients who have bought precious metals with a dealer, rolled an IRA over or transferred a retirement account with a dealer, and then the dealer maybe is out of business or their representative is not reachable. We can service, and we take pride in servicing any client who wants to know more about their coins, about the gold market, and we make ourselves available, which is very important.
Again, it's the Midas Gold Group. They are available to you locally in Thousand Oaks, right off the 101 freeway. Get more information by calling them at 805-601-6000, 805-601-6000. I'm Dave Dino, and this is Sponsor Spotlight. I want to get back into one of the questions that I have heard from my friends regarding purchasing gold, and that is, hey, I can't buy bread with gold. How do I actually sell my gold coins or my gold bars? How do I actually sell those in the future for cash if I need it?
Well, and that's actually a question a lot of people ask us as well, Dave. And the reason most people own gold, they don't buy it as something they expect to walk into the grocery store with. They look at it as a long-term means of wealth preservation, a way to beat inflation, and even if there is a very catastrophic situation in the U.S. or in the world economy, that they still have something that's always going to hold value. Now, we buy gold, silver, platinum, palladium, rare coins every day.
You were telling me that one of your first clients, when you were heard on our station, actually came and sold you some of her precious metals.
That's correct. She bought them from another dealer. She needed some cash. She saw that the price of gold was up a little bit, and that's what it's there for. Gold is actually even a more liquid investment than most stocks are. If you walk into our office, we can generally pay you right there on the spot, and you walk out with money leaving our office.
Wow. Ken?
Most people, Dave, who want to own a portion of their portfolio in gold, they don't want to have 100% of their money in the banking system. They don't want to have 100% of their money in the stock market or the bond market, which where most of the money is right now. So once again, gold is diversification. It's a hedge. It gives you the ability in the future to have options. And to have options is always better than to have none or to be stuck. So I think people like gold because it offers them the opportunity in the future to be able to have some different options, and that's a good thing at this point.
This is the kind of advice you can get when you talk with the folks at Midas Gold Group. We're talking with James Clark, Senior Vice President, and Ken Russo, Senior Trader. You can talk with the folks at Midas Gold Group. You can talk with them on the phone. You can go and visit them in person. You can look at their website. The phone number is 805-601-6000, 805-601-6000. Their website, MidasGoldGroup.com. MidasGoldGroup.com. Now, if you schedule a no-obligation consultation, they'll give you a copy of Sebastian Gorka's new book, The War for America's Soul. And if you go to their website, Midas Gold Group, you can download a guide to owning bullion and coins. You will be more informed when you talk with them and look at their materials than you were before. But I really encourage you to call them at 805-601-6000. Let's talk a little bit about what you touched on for just a moment there, Ken, and that's, let's look at the economy, because that is where, when we are trying to accumulate wealth, we're trying to build a portfolio, not only for today, but for the future, for retirement, we get a little uneasy when we start thinking about the economy. And here's an interesting little thing that I came across. Why are the money market accounts in my IRA now called government money market funds?
It's a little curious with the government, $22 trillion in debt. Some talk about, could the U.S. government ever default on their debt, like some of these other countries have in the past, that it's now called government money market reserves. It's almost as if the government is keeping an eye on our 401ks or IRAs in the effort in the future to know where the money is in case things go real bad. You know, who's going to be left holding the bag if and when things do crash again? And obviously the government, like the banking system or the bankers, are going to do whatever it takes to get themselves out of trouble. They don't care about you and I. So it's up to us to protect what we have, and gold is an easy way to do that.
Can the government actually nationalize retirement accounts?
Well, it's happened around the world. We've seen it happen in Hungary. We've seen it happen in South America. It happened repeatedly. I mean, I think that governments keep all their options open to avoid bankruptcy, to avoid a collapse of their currency. Now, there have been different acts brought up, normally by Democratic politicians in the past, that required certain retirement accounts be invested in government funds and certain amounts in government treasury bills. We've never seen that come to fruition, but I think we're being short-sighted if we don't look at an insurmountable debt that we have right now at $22 trillion. And not think that the government is keeping their options open if the world ever starts to dump the U.S. dollar.
Ken?
Yeah, and we are traders at heart, and gold is preservation. But we do feel that whatever it takes at this point, it's up to us to protect our family's money. It's up to us to protect our nest egg, our estate, our legacy. Gold has been real money for 5,000 years with a long track record of being reliable and a store of value. That's the most important thing also to take away from this point.
And I think one of the biggest points too is that gold and precious metals is really one of the very few truly private investments someone can make. Someone can own gold. It's not an entry on a ledger at any financial institution. It's not the property of the bank, such as technically your bank deposits are. It's an asset that you own that isn't titled anywhere on a deed as you, the record of owner. It is a truly private investment, and that is attractive to many people that want a layer of security in their portfolio against what experts call counterparty risk, which is the risk of another entity holding or controlling your assets.
Ken?
Our job is to educate people on physical gold and on preserving their wealth through gold, because they may not be getting this advice from the people that they regularly talk to.
That's Ken Russo, Senior Trader at Midas Gold Group, and we're also talking with James Clark, Senior Vice President at Midas Gold Group. You can talk with an advisor at Midas Gold Group by calling 805-601-6000. Ask them your questions. Call them and get the information you need, 805-601-6000. When you call, if you schedule a no-obligation consultation, they'll give you Sebastian Gorka's newest book, The War for America's Soul. It's a great read, by the way. The number to call is 805-601-6000. We have just a couple of moments left. And Ken, I know you want to add one more thing to our discussion.
I wanted to state that we are not conspiracy theorists or end of the world or doom and gloom. James and I and the other people who work at Midas and take pride in serving our clients are very optimistic, but we're also very realistic. Midas is a veteran-owned dealer. We're patriots. We love the United States of America, and we want us to continue to be the greatest country and nation in the world. It's our legacy. Mm-hmm. It's our nest egg. It's our family's money. It's, survival at this point. And gold is an easy way. Physical gold is an easy way to achieve that.
You mentioned earlier, and I want to highlight this again, that if I transfer funds from my IRA or 401k into gold, it's not necessarily a taxable event, right?
No, we assist clients with these type of transactions every day. It's very simple for them to move that into an IRA, a Roth IRA, a SEP IRA, whatever type of IRA they have that directly owns physical gold, silver, platinum, or palladium coins or bars. And people can actually see those bars. They are stored securely. They can take distributions of those bars, and it's a very simple process. And likewise, if people want to transfer again, we also help people that have existing accounts sell those precious metal IRAs as well and transfer them back into cash or stocks.
When I contact you and we do business together and I want to buy gold, can I buy it in maybe a couple of different ways? Can I buy it physically so that you deliver it to me and I can keep it in my safe deposit box? Or I have another option of maybe buying a gold IRA where you keep it in a safe area and I have my IRA that is backed by that gold. How does that work?
So those are the two main ways people buy physical gold. They can come directly into our office right in Thousand Oaks off the 101 freeway and take direct delivery of any gold, silver, platinum, or palladium investments that they make.
So it's gold you can hold.
That is correct.
That's a pretty impressive thing when you hold your gold that you've bought.
For people that haven't invested in it, it is always fun to see them come into their office and their eyes get kind of wide when they pick up their coins or bars that they purchased.
Okay.
So absolutely, we encourage people to come by and to physically own the gold privately. The other option is if they do want to own it through an IRA. We work with several custodians that have the most secure locations in the country and in depositories such as Brinks in Los Angeles, Brinks in Salt Lake City, the Delaware Depository, all institutions secured by Lloyd's of London.
So it is my physical gold. It's just kept by them safely.
They store it for you safely and securely, and we've actually had clients take drives to the depositories because they wanted to have a look at their coins or bars.
Wow.
So that is also an option, and it is there, and it is yours. If you take a distribution out of your IRA, you can take it out in your gold and silver.
So it really is gold you can hold either physically or figuratively. We have been talking with James Clark, Senior Vice President of Midas Gold Group, and Ken Russo, Senior Trader of Midas Gold Group. There are so many more questions that I could ask, but we are out of time. I know you have questions. Call them and ask them your questions. 805-601-6000. 805-601-6000. Look them up on the web at MidasGoldGroup.com. They have some amazing offers. They have tremendous product. I'll tell you what, it knocks your eyes out to go to their website and see it. But to go and see it in person, that's even more impressive. So call them, 805-601-6000, If you schedule a no-obligation consultation, you'll get a copy of that book we've been talking about, Sebastian Gorka's newest one, The War for America's Soul. That's a really cool book. So call them, 805-601-6000. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. I'm Dave Dino, and this has been Sponsor Spotlight.